Episode 047 with Sam Picart. This episode was brought to you by my new book, Goodbye Busy, Hello Happy, available now at all leading bookstores. Sam Picart began his dance training in street styles at the age of 15 and began ballet training at 18 under his aunt Jennifer Picart-Branner, formerly of the Frankfurt Ballet. Sam received a BFA from Cornish College of the Arts in 2013. In 2016, he was the chosen winner of Ellen's Dance-Off competition and was a featured guest on the show. Sam has studied dance in Canada and at the Joffrey Ballet School in New York City. Sam has been a guest artist, lecturer and choreographer for multiple universities, as well as taught as an adjunct faculty member. He has worked with notable choreographers such as Mandy Moore, Camille A Brown, Victor Quijada, and Iyun Ashani Harrison. He continues to perform solos around the world and has been featured at multiple MLB games, the Harlem Globetrotters halftime show, and has done commercial work for Microsoft and So You Think You Can Dance. Currently, Sam hosts, judges and teaches for Showstopper Dance Competition and also tours dozens of cities a year as a teacher, choreographer and performing artist. We had a wonderful time with Sam and we hope you enjoy this episode with Sam Picart.
Welcome
Everybody
to the
Dance.
One Voice Can Change the World podcast. I am your host, Tina Bangle, and I have my amazing students here on the podcast and our amazing guests all the way from South Carolina. And please welcome Christine, my student, and Jasmine, and also
All right.
And we have a beautiful guest. I just love your energy, Sam. This is Sam.
Thank you.
Picart. I feel like we're cousins because your cousin is my very, very good friend, Pam Picart. And
Yes.
And I've followed you ever since we've seen you on the Ellen show. So
Right.
your family is amazing.
Oh, we're family.
But yeah, I am blown away by the amount of talent your family has.
Yeah, it's pretty unbelievable. And I didn't know that. Growing up, I didn't know how extensive and how amazing my family truly was because I just didn't know. And then the beautiful side of social media has given me the opportunities to witness what other people are doing that I, share lineage with. And that just means so much to me. It's so inspiring and motivating. And it really reminds you that you're not by yourself, in your own world. There's other people that you share ancestry with and family with, and they're doing their own things. And it's awesome. That's really awesome.
Sam, so tell us about what you do and tell us about all the amazing things that you created for yourself.
Yeah. So I started dancing when I was about 15 or 16 when YouTube came out. So it was around 2005. And I'm from the Midwest, so there wasn't a lot of dance, at least in the town that I was born in. So I was sort of just doing it in my room by myself. I always knew from a young age I loved performing and entertaining. I just was running around just trying to make people laugh and like, hey, are you happy? Are you happy? What can I do? And so once I found dance, that was my way to do that in a way that people would be open to. So once I found the internet, I started self-teaching myself. And a lot of people in hip hop and street styles and that engage in those cultures, a lot of them are self-taught. Well, most of us don't start in a classroom. So it's great if you have access to a studio or classes, but if you don't, there's a lot of self-teaching, and that growth process is unique in itself. So I started when I was a teenager, and then my lovely aunt, Jennifer, my aunt Jenny, she was a professional ballet dancer in Europe. She danced with these amazing choreographers there and in Germany especially. And I looked to her. I met her when I was about maybe about 11 years old. And then she, like amazing family does, they offer to train you. She trained me in ballet for free, had the free 99 family discount. Let's go. And that changed my whole life. Just to see how far and how deep you could go with dance and just art in general really changed my life. So after that, I went to college. I got a BFA in dance in Seattle. And then after that, I started teaching. I was dancing with a contemporary ballet company that had a lot of roots in African and Caribbean dance. So I started to really gain as much experience and knowledge as I possibly could as an artist, and going to New York and dancing and training with the Joffrey Ballet and all these sorts of things like summer intensives and things like that. And my world just kept getting bigger, bigger, and richer and richer. And I was just riding the wave. And then eventually, like you mentioned previously, I was on the Ellen show. And I really got that opportunity, not just because of my dancing, but it was my work with kids. So I'm a teacher as well, and I love teaching young kids all the way up to adults. But at that time, I was only teaching about 5-year-olds to about 10-year-olds. And I loved it. And Ellen was interested in celebrating that, which I will always be so grateful for. And after that, I had a lot of opportunities to go and teach all over the world and perform. I judge sometimes like dance competitions. I host them. And I like to be on the performative side as well as the creative side. So I've been doing that for the last 12 years now, I think. Yeah.
Oh, nice. That's incredible. That's so inspiring. And
well, thank you.
It was just so amazing watching you on Ellen. And I didn't realize that you were Filipino. So
let's go.
Yeah, so good. So I guess
very proud of that.
Yes, we are too, because Jasmine's half Filipino and we're the rest of us are full Filipino.
Awesome. I love that.
So I think Matthew was going to ask you a question next.
All right. Hey, Matthew.
Hi. Yeah, so like what inspired you to actually start dancing, and like did you always want to dance?
Oh, I love this question. I love this. So when I was younger, I think I was about 5 years old. A Goofy movie came out, and everybody laughs at this story because it is funny. It's a Goofy movie. Nobody thinks of it as some life-changing movie, but I did. So there was a scene in that movie where Max, the high school character, was trying to impress a girl in the audience. And at an assembly where all the kids get together, he dressed up like Powerline, who was the pop star figure in that movie, to impress this girl. And when I saw the feeling that scene gave me as a kid, I was just, I could feel my spirit emanating and growing. It was incredible. It was a really lovely feeling. And that's when I knew there was something inside of me that wanted to be a part of that. I also wanted to create that feeling for people like, what's going on? Who is this? In an exciting, fun way. And then not even a year later, my older brother was in basically a male pageant at the high school. It's kind of like a little competition for the senior guys. You have to have a talent. There's a Q&A section. It's this whole thing. It's just like a really fun thing that the high school did. And he danced. And I remember very vividly him dancing, and just the way he was moving his body. Everyone in the audience was losing their mind, including me. But I was quiet about it because this is my brother. I know how magical he is, but I'm watching other people that I don't know scream at him because of his physical magic that he's putting on. So 5 and 6 is when I knew I wanted to be performing and entertaining, because I had never gotten a rush, or I've never been so joyful in my life. So there's that.
Did that inspire you?
Yeah, I think that's truly amazing. It's like very inspiring story.
Thank you, Matthew. I appreciate it. Have you ever had a moment in your life that you feel like something made you feel just purely joyful?
Yes, definitely. Yeah.
Can you give me a little something? What's something that you've experienced?
Something that really made me just really joyful was that when I performed my song to my grade, because it's like the first time I've ever done that, and it was just
Let's go.
it was just truly beautiful just to see the reactions and my friends' reactions, and
The support and love. You should be really proud of yourself for doing that. I'm happy for you, man. That's awesome.
thank you.
Yeah.
Being very humble.
Oh, I'm sure. I'm sure.
He created the song and then also did a film clip, and it's just been a magical ride for you, right?
Yeah, it really has.
Yeah. So you'll need to check it out. Tell.
I was gonna say, share that with me once this is all over. I would love to hear and see and witness your magic, man. That's awesome.
Yeah, so my song was dedicated to the frontliners. It's called Superheroes in Disguise. And recently
Beautiful.
I got to redo the song with Tina's old producer, Lionel Cole. So yeah.
Yes. Let's go. Oh, that's so awesome, dude. So happy for you.
Thank
That's
you.
awesome. Keep it up. Yeah, that's really great.
So
That's
cool.
really great.
Thanks, Sam. Well done, man.
Yeah. Yeah, thank you, Matthew.
So Jasmine's got a question for you.
Okay. Hi, Jasmine.
Hi. So what are some of the challenges that you had to overcome becoming an artist?
Yeah, totally. There are an infinite amount for sure, because life just keeps going and there's always new challenges. But I would have to say, honestly, the main one for me is me. My biggest challenges and obstacles were getting over things that were a little bit more internal. There are a lot of external challenges you'll have in your life, things that you cannot control. But for me, fear, self-doubt, in just general insecurity and anxiety, things like depression, some very serious things that we can have in our bodies and in our spirits. And those things have been very tough for me since I was young, but especially as I started to get deeper within art and dance. Because when you engage in a very deep way of just your existence and how you want to express it, there are going to be questions you need to answer, and things that you find out about yourself that might be very uncomfortable. There are things that scare you to death, putting yourself out there, overcoming all sorts of things. So I would have to say most of my obstacles have been this and this. However, everyone's challenges and obstacles are valid, and we just need to find a way to find the strength and to persevere and really lean on our communities and just be kind to ourselves as we go through that journey.
Okay, cool.
I hope that was an okay answer.
That was
Like,
amazing.
all right.
Amazing answer. Did you want to ask anything else? Yeah. So
Oh no, I appreciate it.
we're kind of all nodding our heads, because that is a major part of being a performer, isn't it? Just having that challenge, the fear.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, for me, like, that's like something that I have to deal with, especially when I perform. So like when it comes to performing, like how do you kind of I don't know if you get nervous or anything, how do you kind of overcome that?
Yeah. So I was nervous before this podcast. Anytime I have to, oh yeah, absolutely. For me, I always want to be at my best for when I perform for people or when I engage with people. But at the end of the day, I can only have that intention. It might not always work out the way I envisioned it. But if I know that I'm giving my absolute best and I prepared and really cared about what I'm about to do, that's all I can control. So if I spend too much time dwelling on my fear and give it too much energy, it will start to have power over me. And that is not something that's acceptable, because my goal of sharing and offering joy with people through dance and through performance is way more important to me than my fears. I will not let my fears and self-doubt drive the car. I want my joy and love to do that. So if I'm about to go on stage, I need to remember to breathe. I need to make sure I eat enough. I need to make sure I get proper sleep if I can help it, which I'm a night owl, so that's very difficult. And I try to prepare and be as logical about the situation as I can be. I'm about to perform in front of a bunch of people. I care about this, so naturally I'm going to be anxious because it means a lot to me. So how about I lean on my preparation, my trust in myself and my love, rather than lean into my fears and self-doubt of what could go wrong. Because the fact is, something could go wrong anytime. So I don't need to put my focus on that. I'd rather put my focus on being with you all and having a really meaningful experience, because this means a lot to me.
Yeah, I have an upcoming performance as well for school. So what you just said, I think I'm gonna keep that in mind and probably give my best shot and enjoy it while possible. So thank you.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely. And let's be fair. We want to see you succeed. Your audience and the people that are witnessing you, there's a lot of warmth and love there. And if you just allow it to fill you up, and you will be nervous because you care, but if you just allow it to fill you up and share your gifts, because I'm sure they're just so beautiful, really, really enjoy it.
Great questions, guys. Well done. Yeah, because they have HSC, which is the highest school certificate here in Australia or in Sydney. So that's their final exams before they go to wherever they're going to go.
So there's a little element of pressure there for sure.
Yeah. So Jasmine was sharing her experience with her with Can.
Our school, it's called St. Andrew's College. Our teacher won like an ARIA award, so it's like pretty huge in Australia for Music Teacher of the Year, back in 2019. And he does this thing annually called Creative Arts Night, where people with skills such as drama, comedy, dance, music, he loves putting original content out there. We had like 3 original songs on the night, which was really nice. And during our dress rehearsal, basically I got on the mic at the keyboard and it wasn't working, and he was like, yeah, that's just, we're rushing through it. So on the night I got up, I had my ex in the crowd, which is what I was dedicating the song to. I got up on the keyboard, and obviously I was scared. I threw my jacket out in the crowd, well, his jacket out in the crowd, because I wanted to emphasize that this is like, we're done kind of thing.
Whoa.
And
oh, there were some things happening. Wow.
And yeah, so I got up on the keyboard, I stuffed up, but I mean, you can easily pick up from that, and then
Right. Wow. That just blew my mind. You're a rock star. That is very cool. You're having a personal experience and you're sharing it with us, and that's so super valuable. Good on you.
It is, yeah. I think that's important, being vulnerable like that.
Yes.
Yeah, because you learn about yourself, but then other people watch you and get inspired and create things for themselves to make their lives better. So well done.
Yes.
And what about you, Sam? Like, have you ever come across where something didn't go right in your performance, but you just had to? I'm sure there's plenty. What do you do?
They're flooding back.
Yeah. What do you do to overcome it so you don't, dwell on it too much and get into that cycle of, oh, that didn't work out? Some people will take it further and say, oh, so hopeless, I want to give up. What do you say to that?
Oh, that's a really great question. So obviously it depends on the severity or how I perceive the unplanned moment to be. So if it's serious, as in maybe I hurt myself or hurt someone else, then we just have to be very pragmatic about it. I need to make sure I'm okay. And how do I make sure I heal up and make sure that never happens again, maybe from a mechanical standpoint, or maybe I need to change my diet or workout routine. So there's that level or way of looking at it. Now, if it's something that just maybe, I forgot a step or I slipped on stage, I didn't get hurt, but I it was an obvious mistake. And those things have happened. When I did So You Think You Can Dance, we were filming an opening section. Mandy Moore had choreographed it, and it had rained out on the grass before filming. Oh, you know where this is going. So I was the only one that slipped during the take that they used, and I fell on my face. I had grass in my mouth. I had it all over my clothes. Luckily, I was in the middle to where there was a lot of people around me. But if you go and actually find me, you will see me fall and get back up on two. I fell down on one, up on two. Let's go. Now, there are times where you can just laugh at yourself like I did in that situation because I was there for fun. I wasn't trying to put a lot of pressure on myself. But if it's something that means something to you, and if it's a mistake that really hurts you, because there are mistakes that really hurt us because we don't feel like we were at the level that we want to be when we present ourselves or perform or share something with somebody. Now, when that happens, sometimes you need to let yourself be upset. You can cry, you can be angry with yourself, you can scream into a pillow, have your moment alone where you can feel that, because you don't want to repress it and you don't want to act like it didn't happen. If it's really bothering you, allow yourself to just sit with it for a moment. You can be in a dark room or whatever. You can be, out on the back porch, whatever you need to do where you feel safe to just have your moment. And it will inevitably play over and over in your head. You go, okay, I'm going to give you your time. Obviously, this is really bothering me, so I'm going to let it happen. And then there's a decision that will be made eventually, or you'll know instinctually most of the time, it's done. We're done. We don't need to dwell on that moment anymore. It's hurting me more than it's helping me. It's giving me motivation to where I don't want to make that mistake anymore, so I'm going to work harder. That's fine. You're learning and you're growing from that. But as soon as it passes that threshold for you to where it's taking up too much of your time and your joy and your mental energy, time to move on. And you'll find those ways to move on as you get older. It's just a process. So that's why I say sit with it, because you need to go through those things so you can A, help yourself to grow. B, you can give that information to other people who might not know how to deal with it. And then they can take your word for it because you've been there. So it's kind of like this situation here where I'm able to give this, sort of advice or insight on how I've dealt with it because I've been there. I've messed up lifts. So I've done some classical ballet on stage and I've messed up lifts. Not dropped necessarily, but even if that were to happen, it all felt bad. And I had to come to terms with, I didn't perform at the level I wanted to. I'm upset. Now we move on. That will never happen again, or I will do everything in my power to make sure it doesn't happen again.
How did that feel? That was great. Sam, I love that. That's so important to hear that that process is an important thing, and that's a huge drink bottle.
Yeah, oh my goodness. My students loved it. They're like, it's bigger than my head. I'm like, I know. And they can't even pick it up. So the 6-year-olds, they're like, ah. So cute.
So cute. Yeah. So does anybody want to expand on that, or did you have any other questions?
Y'all are so patient with my rambling. I just love you.
You're not rambling. It's really amazing information and
okay, I'm glad.
Insights. So
I'm glad.
I guess one of the questions is about animation. You are so animated, and we love it. Hey, it's just for Aussies, right? Aussies are quite laid back. We're not.
Oh, I love that.
We're not as animated as
the
Americans. Hey.
I love it. I love that. Love that distinction.
I think that it's really important for us as singers and performers to be animated. So how do we do that? Maybe we can.
So for me, it's natural because it's a part of my personality. And I think that we should all embrace our parts of our personality that are most natural for us. And then once we do that, we're comfortable, then we can try on other things. Because all my animation does is, I think it makes me relatable in a certain way. It communicates that I'm joyous and I'm passionate, and people want to be in their own way joyous and passionate, and we all express it differently. And so your demeanor doesn't mean you're not passionate or super, expressive in other ways. It just might not be with your physicality or so on and so forth. However, as performers, when we have that element of acting, it doesn't always mean it's a falsity. It just means that we're trying on something else to get our point across, right? So let's say I'm doing movement that isn't natural for me. Ballet is not natural for me. However, I'm conveying an idea through these physical lines and movement pathways that are clearly expressing something specific. And so I'm trying that, and now it's a part of my repertoire. It doesn't mean ballet is now so different from me. Now it's a part of me because I've tried it on. So you can be very performative in your own way. Sometimes being subtle is your way of being expressive or passionate. So trying different things is the best advice I could give. So maybe doing something completely out of your character and see how authentic that might feel. Because maybe in the context of the song that you're singing, that's what's needed. And you can find your own identity within that material. It doesn't mean you're not being true to yourself. It means you're being true to the material and bringing yourself into it. And I think that's a beautiful, beautiful process to be a part of.
I just feel like everything you're saying right now is just like really inspiring for me, especially because I really love to perform, but I always have like those situations where I'm like kind of scared to go on stage and all of those stuff. But seeing how you're expressing your joy for dancing and all that, it's inspired me. So yeah.
I'm glad.
Yeah.
I'm glad.
This is so off topic. I just really want to ask, but like that animal, is that your favorite animal on the back?
Yeah, we were going to talk about it at some point. So, yes. So flamingos are very important to me. I have a flamingo tattoo on my back, and it's part of my Instagram and branding and all that stuff. But more than that, it is sort of personal to me in a way that what I can say is most of the important moments in my life, there was some flamingo or the color pink present. Before I was on the show, before I've been on TV, before I performed at my graduation for college, before I moved away from my home and I left my family, there was always this present in some way, which I always thought was super funny. And now I've just wanted to embrace it because it makes me happy.
What's like something quirky about you, or like what are you very upset with?
Other than the flamingo? Well, okay, I do remember this. So I have a lot. I'm sure you can imagine. I have a lot of very quirky and silly things about me. That is part of how I like to exist. But something new and relevant for me is I just moved to South Carolina. So I'm originally from Missouri, and then I lived in Seattle for 13 years for the better part of my career and education. And then I just moved here a year ago. So it's very new to me. However, I have lived by the beach now. Lovely. And you know how when people say one of my favorite things to do is walk along the beach, and it's like a joke? That's real. I love it. Walking along the beach, I frolic sometimes, and I'm always by myself because I live alone. And when I go to the beach, I live in a local town to where it's locals only. There aren't really any tourists. So even on a sunny day, there might be 50 people. And then at night, when I like to go, because I feel the most alive at night, I go there and there's no one there. It's just this vast darkness with the amazing eternal ocean, and it just feels so overwhelmingly beautiful. And I just like to kind of think about what I'm grateful for and just kind of relax and breathe in the clean ocean air and just kind of walk in gratitude. So that has been something that I always used to make. We all made fun of it, right? Like, I like to read books by the fire and walk along the beach. Like, that's always been a funny thing. But now that I do that, I get it. I get why that's a thing. So I love it. So I walk along the beach now. That's like my thing. So
I'm not even allowed to go out. So like the only thing that I can be myself is in my room. I'm just like walking in my room instead. My parents don't even let me go out.
Yeah. I mean, I grew up in my room. That's all I did until I was 18. I was in my room practicing, watching videos. I love Prince. I love anime. I love things that make me really happy and make me feel passionate. And so, like, I was in my room for most of my childhood, just trying to imagine all the things I wanted out of life. And by the time I became an adult, now I'm flying all over the world because that's what I've always wanted. And now I can really appreciate it because I know what it's like to not be able to do that. So eventually I hope you get to see the parts of the world that you want to.
Oh, you mentioned anime. Like, do you still kind of watch anime still, or is?
Oh, these are all anime stickers, girl. We love our anime. Oh, let's go. Yeah, I love anime. Me and my brother watch it. I watched it as a kid, right? Because I was born in the 90s, so that was one of the golden ages of anime. And then now there's some amazing technological advancements. I love manga. I love that whole world. It's really, let's go. Let's go.
I'm wearing an anime t-shirt right now as well.
I almost did too. I was very close. I was like, oh, should I wear my Naruto or Hunter x Hunter shirt? Now a little bit.
Anime, let's go. Oh
So cool. So I reckon, thanks, Christine, that's fun. I reckon Matthew is an amazing dancer. Like,
yes.
He loves, Michael Jackson, as I'm sure you do too.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
maybe, would you be open to maybe like teaching us a few little moves, like
I love that.
easy moves?
Hi. So I sang when I was in school, like grade school. I was in choir, so choral music, and we had the a cappella stuff and the show choir and all that fun stuff. So that was like the extent of my singing career, was in school. But we never had that much choreography. And what I wish we would at least have was that old Temptation style of step touch. Oh my goodness. There's nothing like a good step touch, especially if you're one of the background singers. Ooh, just on the mic like, you. So I think one of the best ways to find the beat is a nice step touch. So I imagine would this be my left leg from where you are?
That is the left leg.
Yeah. Mirroring, yes, that is the left leg.
This is the left. Okay, so I'm going to start with my left foot because that's my right. And all I'm going to do is I'm going to step with my left foot and then bring my right to it. And as I do that, I want my upper body to, we're getting expressive now. I see y'all. And then when you're feeling real confident, you can start to dip down and get lower at the, if you want to throw a hip in there, oh my goodness, look at us. We're professionals. Let's go. Now, that's a really great way to find a beat, and you all look phenomenal. I just love it. Now, if you want to add a turn in there to really spice it up, you can also, let's say I'm going to the left, you can turn towards the left, do a circle, and then you go back the other way, turning to the right. So we can do that together. Basically, it's just 1, 2, 3, 4 steps all together. Okay, so let's relax for a second. We're about to do this. We're going to go to the left, and I'm going to start with my left foot. 5, 6, 7, 8. Left, right, left, together. Right, left, right. Look at you. Look at you. And my last tip for that move, every time you finish one side and bring your feet together, make it a big deal. Like, okay. Woo! Yeah. So my last one, that's just a little step touch. If you're ever just, you know, when you're at a party and everyone's like, there are people who are just really getting it and you're like, I'm not there yet. I'm going to eat some cake over here. That's when you hit that step touch. That, because you're basically saying, I'm willing to have a good time, but I'm not twerking yet. So I'll be right here. Yeah. So my last one, when you do feel the energy, I'm going to turn to the left right here. And I'm going to have my hands with little finger guns like this. You can do two or just one. And I'm going to circle them away from me, making a circle. Oh, look at y'all. Y'all know what you're doing. I'm going to bend my knees a little bit. And now as I go, I'm going to body roll as it happens. Oh, look at you. Look at you. Then you can switch sides. Oh, hallelujah. Oh, we're doing it to the other side too. Stop looking so good, but don't. I love it. So yeah, you just want to hit this one. You could do it small or you could get real big with it. So that's all you right there.
Sounds like fun, right? And Sam, amazing. We're going to use that for our next performance, I think.
Oh, hey. I would love to see it.
Yeah, I think we should add that.
Yeah.
So I've got a few more questions, just a few more questions for you before we say goodbye.
Okay.
We want to know, what was one song that changed your life?
Woo! So, you know, it's so fun because you knew how to do it. If you ask me what were my 5 favorite songs, you get 20. Yeah. So you ask me one, so you know you're about to get like 3. Yeah. So when I was younger, When Doves Cry was one of the first Prince songs I ever heard, and it made me see the world in a way that I had never seen it before, or hear it, or it just blew my mind. And then Billie Jean by Michael Jackson, just the ferocity and the intention behind such crisp and passionate movement and singing. Billie Jean is definitely blew my mind. And then WTF by Missy Elliott, not because it's her best song, but I was at one of the lowest points in my life when I heard that song. And then after that song came out, I was on the Ellen show dancing to that song. So it literally was present, just like the Flamingo, when my whole life had changed for the better. So I have to say that it, was a part of my literal life changing, and those others were really the start and the beginning of who I would eventually become as an adult.
Oh, that's so beautiful. Is that the song that the Missy Elliott song? Was that the one with all the children dancing?
Yeah, they did a bunch of different ones. They did one with the kids, and a bunch of people were dancing. That I was on the show for it, and then she had her own music video that was really incredible. It's just an amazing song.
And I forgot the girl that was the main child on the film clip. What was her name? I think you might also be referencing Work It and Gossip Folks, where Allison Stoner was one of the main dancers. Yeah, she's incredible. Love her and love watching her journey. Incredible dancer and performer in person. Missy knows how to pick some amazing dancers. And we were lucky enough, like 7 of our students went to Disneyland, and they were mentored by Allison. So that was...
Oh.
Yeah.
That's amazing.
So we have one last question, and this is what I ask all my guests, is what does one voice can change the world mean to you?
One voice can change the world. So I would say that is probably one of the more truer statements that one can say. Your voice changes the world every day, every single day. When you interact with someone, when you put your energy out or make a gesture or write someone or communicate with anybody on any level, you are changing your environment because you are actively putting your energy and your thoughts into the world. And I think because there's so many people, we think that's insignificant, but it's not at all. Every interaction we've ever had has been a part of our story, which means it's also been a part of the story of the person or people we have interacted with. So I would say that that is very true. Our voices, whether it be audible or physical in a different way, or maybe with writing, those things have an impact on people, even when we don't think it does. So I would say, one, every voice changes the world every day. And I would hope that we think about what we want to say, how we want to say it, and how that impacts the other people around us. What do you want to say with that voice?
Beautiful, Sam. Thank you so much for being on the show.
Thank you.
It's made our day.
Thank you for having me. You made my day. I was looking forward to this ever since you asked me. Thank you so much.
Oh, I'm so incredibly grateful that you were able to make this happen. And let us know where we can follow you, how we can follow your journey, and share us any links that you want to share.
Absolutely. So I emailed you some links about a YouTube channel I just started. The YouTube channel is called Everybody Dance. And basically what I'm trying to do is empower people to feel comfortable in their bodies and movement and just getting them excited. It's very silly. It's very, very silly. It's mainly trying to be like a Sesame Street vibe of like really family friendly and really aimed at kids, but I think anybody can find something to enjoy about it. So there's also a TikTok and a Instagram account linked to that, Everybody Dance 5. I just made the TikTok, so let me catch up to everybody. And then then I have a personal Instagram. So yeah, I sent you those links and I can also send them again. But yeah, please come and stay in touch. And I would love to come out there and perform or teach. I have family in Australia, as you know. You're my family, so I need to get out there.
Oh, definitely. You let us know when you're planned to come here, and we'll do a workshop especially for you.
Oh, so blessed. Thank you.
You're so
Thank
welcome.
you so much.
So thank you to Matthew and Jasmine.
Thank you, Matthew. Thank you, Jasmine.
Do you guys have any last words?
Yeah, I just want to say that this has just been so inspiring and motivational, just hearing your past experiences, and because we can learn from that and actually apply those like lessons and ways to just feel stronger when we perform. Like, yeah,
I appreciate you saying that. Thank you, Matthew. Appreciate it.
And I'll make sure to like check out your YouTube channel and see like how I can make myself dance too, because like I'm into K-pop.
Yes. So it has 2 episodes up right now, and I'm making a 3rd episode coming up. So there's not a lot, but you'll definitely get the vibe from the first 2 episodes.
Cool.
And yeah, kind of just to reiterate on what Matthew said, it was really nice to actually like even get some advice from you, especially because I'm going through a hard time lately. So it was really nice to hear from you in that sense.
Thank you. I wish you all the strength that you need, but I know you're obviously very capable. But just to let you know that there are people who really care about you, and we're glad you're here. So whatever struggle you're going through, you're going to get through it, and you're going to be better, and people are just glad that you're here. So I appreciate you sharing that with me.
Thank you, Jasmine. Thank you, Matthew and Christine. And thank you, Sam. You are just so
Tina.
And, we can't wait to meet you face to face. We definitely make it happen. So
we'll make it happen. Thank you so much for the opportunity. It was really nice to meet you all and talk to you all today. Thank you so much.
Sam, love you. Bye.
All right, love y'all too. Bye.
Thanks, Sam.
Bye. Thanks. Wow, that was fun. I love that.